Dude, the start of the season is crazy. I just got back from Atlanta last night. I had to go get my truck from the shop, go load up 10 cases of wine, do this, have another Zoom after this, pick up our vice president Tiquette, drive 3.5 hours to Bend, do 5 tastings, eat, sleep, repeat, sleep, come back, and then got kid stuff on Saturday.
Can we talk about the
Shut
fact
the
that
fuck up. Shut the Channing. Bro, no, this is the thing, man. Like when we talk about fucking perspective, dude. When we talk about perspective,
It's tough,
it's like
dog.
who
You see
in
me
the
sweating.
I don't no, Channing. You gotta be this is the thing. You can't be disrespectful to people that act like, man, I got a tough day. I had to go pick up a bunch from my wine and then I gotta grab my guy. Then we're gonna drive 3 hours to beautiful Bend and we're just gonna give people wine and tasting and eat food and then we gotta do that for a couple of days.
It's tough.
Bro, you sound like listen.
It's tough, Richard.
someone that went to private school and had air conditioning in his car? What was that line we used?
Yeah.
First of all, I did not have air conditioning, and I had to go to private school.
Channing.
Richard had Moon Valley had more air conditioning than St. Mary's does.
Okay, he's lying. Let me just establish. See, let me establish this. First of all, they don't even have. It's not even hot when school starts, right? That's why they get them out for the summer. Second thing, there's nothing like you're pulling your Victoria Beckham right now. It's like, listen, we come from very hardworking people. Tell the truth, Channing. We we just the both of them. Okay, well, in the '80s, my father drove a Rolls Royce. That's the shit, bro.
In the '80s, I did not drive a Rolls Royce.
People always want to connect with non-privilege, implying that, oh, no, I'm just like everybody else.
No, you're not, bro.
I took the city bus. I took the city bus to high school at 14 every single day, standing outside in the heat, to and from school. Don't give me this. Don't give me. No,
I had to drive 35 minutes in a truck with no AC, Richard, every single day.
What's wrong with the two of you?
No,
I had no power steering.
Listen, this is the thing. I don't like, in my personal opinion,
my truck got robbed every week.
That's why the Victoria Beckham and Beckham thing is so real, because it's like people like this. Oh no, it was hard. Shut the fuck up. Like, come on, bro. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I had the same upbringing as like a D Wade, but my upbringing ain't like, I know my story. Like, if you didn't have to get to school 30 minutes early just to get free breakfast, right? If you didn't have a special ticket for free lunch. Don't hit me with the struggle, bro. First of all, when Michael Wilbon is like, man, Channing, I remember you when you were a little kid and like your mom used to bring you to all of these conferences. Like, bro, it's okay.
Because we couldn't afford a babysitter.
Channing, you earned the, oh my God, the start to the season feeling that you have right now. So kudos to you.
Thank you. I don't even know what time it is, what day it is.
I know, it's so hard.
Pence, welcome into this edition of Road Trippin. Allie Clifton, Richard Jefferson. What day is it? God, your names are getting more boring and boring as we speak.
I've been on a rush. I don't have time. Little Pee-Pee McWee-Wee. I don't know where to go.
You could have used that and it would have been wonderful. Wow. How are we doing today, Richard? How are you?
I'm outstanding. There's nothing I love more than privileged people wanting to blend in with the regular folk. I'm just like you. It's like the old guy at the kids. Hey, kids, where are we hanging out? Fucking cop. People, just embrace it. Embrace whatever your situation is. Don't relate to a different struggle. It's like, no.
I like to relate to all the struggles.
No, you know the best thing that you've ever said about your situation? You know the best thing that you've ever said as long as I've known you? You said you were on the plane and it was like all the guys. It was when you were with the Knicks and Quentin Richardson and all these guys were kind of cracking jokes about it. And you looked at them and you said, all of your kids are going to go to private schools and country clubs and they're going to grow up to be just like me. And they were all like, oh, fuck, that is true.
Yeah,
right? Exactly. And it's like, look, I'd be proud let me say this. If I would be proud if my kids
have to go to St. Mary's, though.
No. I would be proud if my kids grew up to be like Channing, 100%. Channing and Logan, 100%. But one thing I would
never... I don't know about Logan. Logan's a little weird.
I love Logan. I like Logan more. One thing I would never fucking tolerate from my kids that are shooting basketball on the Strand in Hermosa Beach is for them to even try and relate. Well, no, man. It was tough, man. No, it fucking wasn't.
How's their...
wasn't. Don't ever say that. Don't do that. Your struggle is different. Your struggle is different, but it ain't a struggle, bro. Like, I
It's
would
like
not tolerate that from my
you
kids. I can't
struggle when it's
tolerate it from
low on
my close friends.
avocado.
What?
The struggle is when avocado is in
Oh,
shortage.
yeah. Yeah, when they get melon in front of them and they ask where the fucking prosciutto was. Do you know how, like, where's the prosciutto? And it's like, bro, do you know I used to have sleep for dinner? Many a nights.
You know what the real struggle is when they're trying to shoot layups and someone doesn't know how to put a freaking basketball hoop
Oh,
together.
that was bad. I don't know if you guys saw that clip. I don't know, but first of all, we're gonna add this clip and show what this TaskRabbit did. All shout out TaskRabbit. What they did, they put the base in the front. They put the base in the front, so every time my kids shoot a hoop, it just plops. And on top of it, so let me just talk about this struggle because I'm in that mood this morning, right? So I live very close to the ocean. So my kids don't have a basketball hoop and my kids are addicted to basketball. You guys know this. My kids are addicted. So there's an empty lot that's like 6 houses down. And I see it's up for sale. And they have a great driveway. And I was like, oh, wow, that's dope. So I called the real estate agent. I'm like, hey, I know you guys are selling this. Is there any way that I could put a basketball hoop up just so my kids can play? It's like 5 houses down. They're like, no problem. Just give us some tickets. Cool. So I'm like, dope. So now I'm sitting here watching my kid play basketball with the ocean in the background. They will never be able to tell about a fucking struggle. Don't ever give me a struggle. So yes, when I get the private school kids like Channing, like I didn't get a car till I was 21 years old, like after lying and stealing money from basketball camps and not working. When I say stealing,
I got my truck from the impound for $1,500. This is the truth. It was
it was probably somebody in my family's car that got impounded because they couldn't afford to pay it.
No, it was crusty. There was a rat in the engine.
Allie, you can get it too. Look at Allie's over here wearing Warrior stuff to start the season. Man, I don't know if the Laker fans are
actually shout out Warrior Vibes. It's spiritual gangster. They like to give me free swag, nice swag. They like to gift me swag.
Spiritual gangster, Arizona. Shout out.
Yeah, it's actually like yoga gear, and I attend this place called this yoga studio near me actually, and I never
What's the name of that yoga studio near you?
Go ahead, Allie. I did see now. Allie, see this is the thing with these people today. Allie just got on that mic and said, "Oh, it's I have this yoga studio, but I never get free swag." Allie, you are like top 7 in the history of Soho Yoga of swag given.
You know when I get the swag though?
What?
When Richard has to apologize for not doing something he was supposed to do.
That's why you're top 7.
Okay,
let's top 7. That's why you're top 7.
Love you. Shut up.
The process is about the end.
If there's anything you as our viewers need to understand and know, celebrities, professional athletes, like the two of them, they're just like the rest of us. Okay. We all have our situations.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not. We're so much.
My hands are so rough.
We're so much far more messed in the head. We're so far more messed in the head.
Okay, well, that's for you to say, not me. So
manual labor.
Here we are.
Picking up boxes of wine. Picking up boxes of wine is from the wine company that you own when you retired at 35 and bought.
36.
Actually, Channing, you do manual labor? Channing, do you do manual labor?
Yes.
Okay. If someone set up a basketball hoop, the way Richard's basketball hoop has been set up, would you get you would get your drill out and you would just fix it for your children, right? Okay.
Easily.
Okay.
Easily.
Yeah, that's great. I'm fucking proud of you. That'll make you a better fucking man. Like I don't judge my masculinity based off of this. I judge it off of this. Your father made a bunch of phone calls, came up with an amazing idea, and got to do a basketball hoop on the ocean, like 5 houses down. And I paid somebody $50 or $200 to go pick it up and drop it off. They messed it up. I'm not going to all of a sudden get on my hands and knees and start doing shit. Look, come on, man. Work smarter, not harder, people.
Greatest outsourcer there is.
Oh, for sure.
Right there.
That I will give him credit.
Okay.
You. Delegator, not delegator of responsibility, not just outsourcer.
Oh, my bad. All right, let's talk about some NBA basketball, shall we? Because the season is back. Channing is already getting crushed on Twitter from people that just want to argue, and he's down for it. He is in it to win it, which I love this version of Channing. I'm going to start with Zion Williamson and the Pelicans.
Yep.
And we'll go from there. Zion logged 15 minutes preseason game against Magic the other night. 12 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, 50% shooting, 4 of 8. Willie Green was taking some heat for playing him so much.
What?
How much would you be playing Zion, and what's the best way to handle him early this season?
You can't run a marathon unless you try and run a marathon. If you don't play 40 minutes or 38 minutes in a game, you can't play 38. Listen, this is the thing about preseason, and I'm already fired up. If you guys are still listening, you're listening to me.
Get his ass.
Get his ass. This is my thing. Game 1 can go into overtime. We saw that last year. Was it Knicks? Boston went into like an overtime game 1, and these guys had to play. Yeah, but I'm just saying, these guys had to play like 48 minutes in an overtime game. He's not going to start the season on a minute restriction. So if game 1 he's forced to play 37 or 41 minutes because it goes into overtime, when are you preparing for that? That's what the preseason is for. They always say, we're going to play you 25, 30 minutes here. Then at the last, a lot of coaches say the last preseason game or the second to last preseason game, you're going to play your normal minutes. So if you're playing your normal minutes, that's to condition you to do it, because it's not like there's a ramp up to the season where you're like, oh, hey, listen, we're going to start him off playing about 25, 30. Then as he starts to build up his conditioning, as we get to around Christmas, we'll start upping his minutes to 35. It's like, no, that motherfucker might have to play 35 minutes a night to start the joint.
Yeah.
So
think about how hard the West is. And this team, okay, one, Zion has missed 3 out of the 4 years. So literally, he may be in shape, which is one, which helps lower his chances of getting hurt. He is not in NBA game shape. You could do all the drills you want to. He is not in NBA game shape. The only way to do that is to play. They are more used to him not being there than being there. You cannot get film if you're on a minute restriction. You cannot push your body if you're on a minute restriction. Also, you don't pay, right? Like Richard and I, we drive nice trucks, right? These trucks, we drive them every single day. We don't just keep them in the garage, right? We don't have that luxury.
We put miles in them bitches.
Miles,
shout
right?
Out
As
Ford.
I'm taking my truck. Big shout out Ford. Especially Shelby. Or Rapid. Hook me up with another truck. But he needs to play.
My sister and brother-in-law work at Ford, right?
Yeah, thank that information would have been nice to know before I bought.
God damn, Allie!
Bronco. Thank you. Thanks, Allie.
I mean, talk about using your resources.
Yeah. Just Ford, but that's Ford Tractor Division. It's just for the truck.
Goodbye. Keep talking. Goodbye.
Okay. Listen, they were number 1 in the West last year when he was healthy. So what do you think the expectations are this year for this team? If they don't get off to a good start, Sacramento's good. Golden State's good. LA Clippers, LA Lakers, Utah solid, OKC, Dallas, Suns, Minnesota. So all of a sudden, I've already named 9 teams, not including the Pelicans. So if you get off to a slow start, now Griff goes, well, this ain't working. Everyone got to go. We got to start.
He might and Griff is our guy. Griff might go. Like everyone's job is at risk. You have 18 months before your job is at risk.
Oh yeah,
and that's coaching, players, management. Everyone has 18 months. You'll get a full year. Where are we at? You'll get another 6 months, and it's like, okay, this is your squad team. Now I know people get fired after 2 years. That's what I'm saying. 18 months, if it don't look good, typically you're going to get fired after 2 years, right? So everyone is on the clock. And this is the last thing I'll say. If Zion Williamson played 20 minutes in every single preseason game, and in the first on let's say their season starts and they play Monday, Wednesday, and then he's forced to play 39 minutes because they need to win. He's their best player. Do you think he's in condition if he's only played 20 minutes each night for the last like 2 weeks? That and the running and the conditioning, but like game shape is game shape. So if you're not going to prepare to run a marathon, and the marathon is not just the length of the season, it's the amount of games and the amount of minutes that you have to play. You got to start prepping for that.
So you guys are saying that he should be playing in every preseason game? How many minutes?
No. Be selective, but you have to push him. So let's say he plays 20, then next time he may play 28, right? And then learn to recover, right? He has to learn to recover faster. How do you feel? What's going on? Then the next game, hey, we're going to play you for real this game. You're going to play 34, 36, and then you may not play the next game. You may just play the first half or the second half, whatever it is. But you gotta start expanding that rubber band. You
Look,
got to start getting his runs right.
anybody that's online that's complaining, Channing and I don't have the time or the crowns to explain this. So just know that this is what a conditioned athlete needs to do. And Zion's injury, he could sprain his ankle in the first play of the game. Anything can happen, but you have to condition a guy to do it. Next question.
Someone agreed with you, Channing. Okay, we're going to talk sleeper teams that didn't make the playoff last season. And Channing, I'm going to give you the East. Make a case for a team that did not make the postseason last year that you think will this year, your sleeper team.
Oh, the Orlando Magic. I think it's easy. The Orlando Magic, easy.
Someone said they agreed with you. 42 wins?
I think 40 to 42 wins. That's a lot. But here's why I say that. They don't have shooting. They have two clear things that they are missing, which I think they will be able to get. They have a lot of good players that they could package for shooting and a veteran guard. They have Paolo is good. Wendell Carter Jr. is solid. Obviously, Wagner is solid. Markelle Fultz is solid. They have a lot of good, solid players. They don't have a vet, like a real vet. They don't have a real vet. And then they don't have real shooters. So if you can address those two things, I think Paolo has a breakout year. I was talking to Grant, and he was just raving about how impressed he was with Paolo during the USA game or USA team. He was like, it's not about him scoring, right? It was about his commitment to defense and how he was watching the other pros. So he was like, he thinks that he's going to make a huge jump this year because of how he's matured and like, oh, I'm doing a workout, but I ain't doing a workout like this all-star does. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, or this guy does this. So I think the Magic make a jump. 40 to 42.
Okay. Not like in post, like 8 seed. Top 8.
Top 8. I give them top 8.
Okay. On the flip side, what's a top 4 seed from last season that you... No, I'm sorry. I'll give you first, Rich. West. You go West.
West, one, I agree with Channing in his Orlando pick. I think Paolo is a who'd they get in the draft? Who'd they end up getting?
The guard, Black, something Black. The guard.
Oh yeah, pretty good, right? You get a point guard. They got Anthony. So I think Paolo in my opinion, I think coming off of USA basketball, right? I think he learned a lot. There was, he didn't play as much, but I think those early games in that, the experience, the intensity of how hard to go, I think he has a chance to make a jump to be an all-star this year. Like I watched him go 30-something and 40-something against Kevin Durant in Brooklyn, toe-to-toe, first time they played against each other. Kevin Durant got the better, but the fact that this 20-year-old kid was holding his own on carrying his team. So I agree with Channing on that. In the West, what team do I think? I still stand by Houston. I like Houston's team. I think that they can make it into the top 8. I stand by that. Like, because again, you got to understand, all you got to be is the 10 and then you win one, or you know what I'm saying? Like it is the formula to get there. You just have to not be the bottom 2. And I think that there will be teams that will be in the bottom 2 that will put them in the 10th spot and give them a chance. The weird thing even about Orlando trying to be the 8th seed is that you have to win very pressured games to become the 8th seed. That's the only part. And think what Miami did. Think how Cleveland 2 years ago was in the play-in and lost back-to-back games. Like, it's like to get the 8th seed now is not, you can't believe, oh, I think they're a playoff team. It's like, you can be right there and then you got to fight. You could be the 7th seed and have 8 wins, like above the 8, 9, and 10 and still miss the postseason. So it's so hard. It's really what it is like, is this a play-in team or is this a playoff team? Those are two completely different. The play-in is not the postseason. So, I think right now we have to say who's postseason and who's going to make the postseason, and that means top 6, and then who's the play-in teams.
Okay, but when it's all said and done, top 8 go to the playoffs. So
yes, but it's not the top 8.
You think the Rockets?
You think the Rockets are a top 8 team?
Well, you can have
the Lakers were the 7th seed and they went to the Western Conference Finals. They're in the postseason. I'm talking about being a part of the playoffs. It's still 8 teams from each conference. Agreed,
but I'm saying you could be the 10 seed and make the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You think they're just magically going to do that?
No. I think that the Houston Rockets have a chance to get into the play-in, and they have a chance to get to the postseason. If you get to 10, then you have a chance to make the postseason. That's the team that I think. I think they can get to 10. Maybe they win one game and then, maybe they win one game and then lose the 7-8 game. But to
So they're going to
me,
be Oklahoma City of last year.
yeah, I think they have. No, I don't think they have a Shea on their team. I don't think they have a Shea on their team that helps them do that. But I think that they do have like again, everybody's picking OKC to make a big jump with Shea now, and what we see Chet Holmgren is going to be after a year of just
Williams.
being in the
Nice.
lab. They got a lot. So
I do want to stick with the Rockets just for a second. What did you guys make of Dillon Brooks? First preseason game, not even 5 minutes in, the flagrant 2. Why the smiles?
Whapping wieners, man. Just up here punching wieners.
Yeah,
For
man.
what? It's just like, for what?
I didn't see the play. I saw a picture of it, and I saw Dillon Brooks got kicked out. After Dillon Brooks BS last year, I've been a big fan of him this summer. I've been like what he did for Canada, the way he played. Canada doesn't get the medal in the World Championships without him, and that's 100% fact. And I think Houston giving him a chance in the the roster that they have on them. I think now, obviously, they've lost a player, Houston, that was into this mix, and rightfully so. I understand why he is no longer, available to play. But I still like Houston. I think they're the team that's going to make a jump in the Western Conference from being the worst team in the league to being semi-respectable.
Okay, who's going to be the worst team in the league? It's either, so now you're only talking the Spurs or Utah.
No. I think Laurie Markkanen.
Spurs could really be the worst team.
I think Charlotte could be really, really bad.
No, sorry, we're talking just in the Western Conference.
Oh, just West.
Oh, Charlotte's going to be garbage.
Who is the worst
What
team
is going on in Charlotte right now?
Dude, they just can't get right.
No, they picked a kid, unfortunately, that's having some struggles. I don't know the full details, but in my opinion, he's having some struggles. So he's gone. They had Miles. He's apparently made another mistake. I saw something that just popped up. I don't know the details, so I don't speak on it. So, but apparently there's people that want to have a conversation with them. Let's leave it at that. So it's like you look at that Lonzo, LaMelo Ball. What hit? Like, how is he going to come back healthy? Is he going to come back there? And then they did get a very good wing. They did get a very good wing in the draft, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do. But I think they'll be the worst team in the league. That's my opinion.
Worst team in the West.
I had this argument.
Sorry, Channing, go. You got
No, go ahead. Okay, so I had this argument in the last, I'm not going to say 20 years. Let's say 15 years. Has there been a worse run team than the Charlotte Hornets? Now, listen to this. Draft picks, free agent signings, making it to the postseason. The best thing they ever did was one player. They had one player, so they overpaid Gordon Hayward. They drafted Michael Kidd-Gilchrist above Bradley Beal. They multiple felonies for multiple players, right? LaMelo Ball is still young, but hasn't even sniffed the playoffs. Then you go back to overpaying Nicholas Batum.
Where does Kemba fall in all of this? Isn't it wild that Kemba
That's
was
the only one. That's the
Yeah.
only one guy. And guess what? This is going to sound crazy. Kemba was the Damian Lillard of Portland, where it's like you build your whole system around him, you get to the playoffs, but at the end of it, you have 1 year where you're good, and then the rest of the years you're like first round and out, and you have nothing to show for it.
Okay, so let's go look at the last three. So the last 5 teams. So we're talking about Pacers finished 11, Wizards finished 12, Magic finished 13, Hornets finished 14, and the Pistons finished 15. Now, I'm going to say that Pistons would make a jump. I believe coaching. I believe system. And that's not to say that not to say that they didn't have a good coach before. It's to say that when you can have a good coach and you're getting the talent and it's the young talent, it's tough. And then
Thompson is nice, by the way.
Yeah, both the Thompsons are nice.
Nice.
That's what I'm saying. They got and that was the thing before. Obviously, there were some situations this summer in Houston. You're adding Thompson, you're adding Van Vliet, who was an all-star. He's still in his prime. Like, you're adding talent. You got the bigs. Like, they got a lot of stuff going on there. So I think Houston is still that team. Pistons, I don't think make a big jump. Again, these are all things that we don't know. Let's go to the Western Conference. Who are the bottom teams in the Western Conference really quickly?
The Spurs.
Jazz, Trailblazers, Rockets, Spurs.
The
Trailblazers are going to be
the worst.
trash.
The
Trailblazers are going to be
the worst.
trash. They'll be the worst team. Trailblazers will be the
Trailblazers?
worst team. 100%. You got
Man,
to.
DeAndre Ayton doesn't want any of that smoke. He
What do
got
you mean?
asked to do media because they're taking on the Suns,
yeah.
and someone asked him about Phoenix, and he said, I was brought over here and told that I was supposed to talk about last night's game. No questions on Phoenix.
Dude, he
That's
wants to
it.
move on.
Locked in, dialed, focused.
Well, think about
on
this
court.
for him. He's a number one
Good for him.
pick. He goes to a team where they already have a number one guy. They want him to be a glorified Bismack Biyombo. He does that. They go to the NBA Finals, and he's like,
Then they
"Dude, I
don't want
wanna
to pay him
get
his
in my
money.
role."
Then they don't want to pay him his money.
Dude, you got to take it from his side. He's like, dude, you can go get any big man in the league to do what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I need an opportunity. I feel like I should. He is talented as any other big man in the league for as young as he is. He's physical. He's strong. He just wants opportunity to show that. Like, give me a chance to fuck up, coach. Don't put baby in a box.
Don't put baby.
I'm sorry. You don't get to have a number one pick that does what he does, and then you don't want to pay him, and then he gets a qualifying offer, and then you're like, okay, fine, we'll have him. Nobody wants that. That's like being in a relationship and being like, I want to break up. Okay, let me go find a new girlfriend. Okay,
Yeah.
oh, you got a new girlfriend that's willing to do that? Okay, I want you back now, and you have to stay here with me. And you're like,
He would have been nasty in Indiana with Halliburton and Miles Turner.
he would have felt
Oh,
wanted.
God.
He would have felt wanted.
But dude, think about that team: Halliburton, Heald, Miles Turner, and DeAndre Ayton.
I only hear
Ooh.
trade pieces when you talk about Indiana.
Okay, let's go to the flip side. Rich, since you talk about the postseason being the top 6. Okay.
Why did you? Because top 6 are the only people guaranteed to be in the postseason.
Whatever. All right. So I want, Rich, you'll take the East this time. A top 4 team from last year, which would have been Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Cavs. Which one could likely miss the postseason in terms of guaranteed?
Oh,
Sixers.
yeah, for sure.
For sure, Sixers. They got
That's
a lot. They got a lot going on. Everybody that's still listening to Channing Sniff, he lives on a hay farm, and sometimes that hay gets stuck in his clothes. So now we get to listen to his allergies.
Oh, sorry.
No, 76ers. They're in such disarray, and I've stood by this. And I think Joel should leave the 76ers. You talked about Charlotte. What?
Wow.
Where would he go?
You just dropped that like it was.
No, I don't.
I think so too.
Yes,
but
yes.
that's just me.
I dropped it like I don't. I like to stir the pot and I like to poke the bear. I don't like to tell anybody what to do. But I'm looking at you talked about Charlotte and the mistakes that Charlotte has made. Let's talk about Philly for a second. With all due respect to Tobias Harris, you picked Tobias over Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has been to 2 NBA Finals since you made that stupid move. Secondly, you have the Ben Simmons situation that wasn't handled properly or handled the way it should have been. So then that turns into a debacle where you're just wasting Joel Embiid's time, right? Then you get James Harden. Obviously, the insider trading that you guys did to get James Harden has now blown up in your face. Tell me why Joel Embiid should stay loyal to Philly. And I'm not saying ask for a trade. I'm not saying ask for this. But if they can't trade James Harden, then obviously you got to look at management. And I don't think Daryl Morey was a part of the decision to move on for Jimmy Butler. I think he might have came in after that. Don't quote me. So I'm saying it's like, but collectively, you even have Michael Rubin, the former owner, minority owner of the 76ers, saying that, hey, if I was still with the franchise, things would have been handled better. So he's basically throwing a shot at the ownership and the management of Philly. He said those words. So I'm not making that up. But at some point in time, hey, Joel, Philly's a great place, great basketball community. But at the end of the day, they are not doing the same things for you that, let's say, Milwaukee is doing for Giannis. They are not doing the same things for you that Denver is doing for Jokic. They're not doing the same things for you that the Lakers are doing for LeBron and AD. They are not building the team and keeping the quality of the franchise at the level that they should. Now, the Lakers had a dip, but they were elite and they won a championship. And they had a dip because they made some mistakes and they've cleaned those mistakes up and now they're back.
Okay, Channing, we're going to you guys both agreed on the Sixers.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Top 4 team from the West that's not guaranteed in the 6th.
The Sacramento Kings.
Really?
I know it sucks.
You think that was a one and done?
No.
The
I
Beam
think they
team
make the
is
playoffs. I just think this. Here's the thing. Did they add anybody? Obviously, that's a young team. They're going to get better, right? But you would say the Lakers got better. The Warriors are going to be the Warriors, healthy. You got and here's the one. The Suns are obviously going to be good. Denver's going to be good. I just named four, right? So Denver, Phoenix, LA, Golden State, and here's that fifth one, right? Everyone is still on the Clippers train. How many years do we have
Yeah,
to
they
get
are.
pump faked by the Clippers every single year? It's just like the fact that just shows you how good Kawhi and PG are. It's like if you show up, we're gonna put you in the top six. It's just automatic.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I have the Clippers, and then
Wait, so you're getting pump fake too?
I'm getting pumped. I just have to put. It's just impossible. I've seen Kawhi Leonard up close and personal when he plays. When he plays, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's just you have a chance to win. And then you know what is crazy? I don't really like Dallas's roster, but I know they're going to win. So that's 6,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Let me ask you guys this because it just kind of like squirrel. Clippers were top 5 team when it comes to the GM surveys that are out.
Yeah.
As former players, as NBA champions, can I get your honest opinion on how players view the GM surveys? Do they really pay attention to them? And how much weight should they really actually hold?
Oh, I've never cared about that. I've never cared about people that aren't on the court. And I'm just I'm being a dick. I'm being a little smart ass, but like, I don't care what the reporters' picks are. I don't care what the 2K rating is. I don't care what the GM's opinions are because anonymous GMs like to talk. Oh, I can't believe they're dicks. I can't believe they did. Um, I can't believe they did this, says an anonymous GM. It's like, yeah. So, no, you put some stock in it in the sense of like, okay, these are opinions, but like opinions have never won a thing, ever. Game, minute, championship, ever.
And here's the thing. We argued about who was MVP last year, and then we realized who the fuck was MVP. It shows you we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Jokic should have won that MVP hands down, but we started talking ourselves out of it. Obviously, he had one little bump, and everyone was like, "Yep, that's all we needed to give it to somebody else."
Well, look, same way where Giannis won 2 MVPs and there was some voter fatigue because we're like, we're not going to keep doing this game. And then he won the championship that year. And I guarantee you you know why? Why I don't care that he didn't win the MVP is because I truly believe that he cares more about the finals MVP. He cares more about the finals MVP. If you ask him how much that MVP would have meant to him, he's like, I got 2 of them. I wanted the finals MVP. I wanted to win a championship. And same with Giannis. Would Giannis have wanted another MVP? Who doesn't? But what was more important to him in that season, in that journey? The fact that he accomplished the ultimate goal. And MVPs are one of the goal. And an MVP is not the ultimate goal. That's a mistake that people make. MVPs are not the ultimate goal in NBA, in the basketball community. Winning an MVP puts you in a class. It means you're the best player on the planet. It means that you had the best season in the entire world. And so when you do that, that's cool. But that's not the number one goal. The number one goal is to win a championship and win the finals MVP. If you do that, that's far different.
Could you imagine now? Joel Embiid has a crazy individual record. Could you imagine if he got an MVP and never made it to the NBA Finals? Has that ever happened in the history of basketball?
Probably.
Derrick Rose.
Oh shit!
I was like, that's what I said. I was like, dude, getting to the finals. The Bulls have not been to the finals since.
Oh no, he was traded that year, 2017, with you chanting at the break. He was traded that year, right? Yeah. So Derrick Rose.
Yeah. So no, that's why I'm like that MVP you were talking about, Channing. I'm just like, I get it, but now if Jokic comes out and has the same season or a better season, which he's had, and he feels like he's gotten better every year the last like 5 or 6 years, even if he has the exact same season last year, there will be no doubters. There will be zero doubters. Same with Giannis.
The thing that's crazy though, when you talk about the whole weight of the MVP thing, because if it wasn't for injuries, the way in which people viewed and still talk about Derrick Rose at that level,
Yeah.
He's different. He is one of the most beloved, respected players of all time. It's crazy. It is crazy. Like, he can do no wrong. Like, and this is a fact. Derrick Rose left the Knicks, right? He just like randomly left. He had something going on in his life, said, hey, I got to take time out. He randomly left the Cavs. Like, he's gone through a lot of different things, and nobody gives a shit. And no matter what he does, he is loved. He is a genuinely nice, quiet human. And the state of Illinois, the city, not the
Shitty.
the city of Chicago
Shitty.
loves
Shitty.
him.
Shitty city.
Loves
All right, clearly you guys ate your Wheaties today. A very energized episode, and we will continue this tomorrow. We're going to talk a little truth or trash. It's another edition of Road Trippin'.